Drinkaware has launched its new Christmas campaign, Gift Yourself Tomorrow, encouraging adults to drink more mindfully over the festive season so they can wake up refreshed and ready to enjoy the moments that matter. The new research from the Drinkaware Barometer shows a growing appetite for healthier drinking habits in Ireland, especially among younger adults, but awareness of the HSE's low-risk drinking guidelines remains very low. The campaign aims to bridge that gap with practical tips, alcohol-free options and tools to help people stay in control during the busy party season. And we're joined now by Maedhbh Firmino de Silva Santos, the Deputy Manager at Bushypark Addiction Treatment Centre. Maedhbh, a very good morning to you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Alan. It's good to be on.
What pressures do people typically face around alcohol use during the Christmas period? I suppose, the key one being the obvious one, that there just seems to be a lot more of it around, particularly at home.
Absolutely, Alan. I think Christmas can be Christmas is obviously a very happy time for a lot of families, a lot of people. But there does tend to be a tendency on overindulgence over the Christmas period, be that food or drink and alcohol. And I guess for a lot of people over Christmas, there tends to be more social outings, be it work or friends and Christmas parties, getting into full swing. And I think kind of moving into the Christmas period as well, there can be a lot of drinking at home, which can, I suppose have its own dangers in terms of people not measuring drinks and perhaps consuming more than they would in a pub environment.
Yeah, I mean, the campaign seems a very worthy one and important to get that message about mindful drinking out, particularly at this time of year, Maedhbh. But as I mentioned, the research showing very low awareness of the low-risk drinking guidelines from the HSE. Fewer than 5% of adults can identify them correctly. I suppose, why do you think this knowledge gap persists, and how key is it that it is addressed?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Alan. I think that this campaign is really simple and very worthy. I suppose the piece that is being flagged up is that there's a general appetite for people to want to drink in healthier ways. I think there is particularly with younger people. There's definitely a trend towards younger adults wanting to drink in healthier ways. And then the challenge with that is that people perhaps don't know what a standard drink is a standard drink measure. Maybe they don't know what, a binge drinking session, what that would entail, in terms of the number of standard drinks. So I think generally speaking, there is a will to do better, but perhaps the practical application of it is difficult if you don't know exactly, what you need to be doing to drink in healthier patterns.
The campaign is encouraging tactics like alternating drinks, planning alcohol-free nights or setting intentions. In your experience, Maedhbh, do small strategies like these, can they genuinely make a difference, help people stay in control?
Absolutely. I think for a lot of people who don't struggle with problematic alcohol use, that mindfully drinking is a really good strategy. It's just being conscious of, perhaps maybe not taking a drink or having an alcohol-free night out. It's certainly just being very much aware of, why you're drinking and whether you really do want that drink. Small strategies are really useful. I know that they do, as you said, alternating alcoholic drinks with non-alcoholic drinks, staying out of rounds, and just being generally more aware of how much that you're drinking. I mentioned earlier, the kind of the home drinking setting, which I suppose a lot of people will, perhaps over Christmas Day, there tends to be alcohol involved in a lot of households. It's more difficult, isn't it, to kind of measure how many units of alcohol you're using over that period of home drinking. So very much so, the small strategies do help, and I think the mindfulness just being key.
I'm just wondering, Maedhbh, from your perspective at Bushypark, whether the Christmas, and I'm thinking maybe the aftermath of that, particularly into the New Year period, whether that's a time when you typically see an increase in people reaching out because there is more drink around for those who are maybe struggling with it. Either the Christmas is a time they can fall off the wagon, or if they haven't fallen off the wagon, their drinking ramps up and maybe it comes to a head and with family members or friends or loved ones, and they decide the time now is to address it and present themselves to you guys.
Absolutely. Look at Alan. Christmas is, I suppose, any period where we are, where there's probably more of a social acceptability of kind of drinking earlier in the day, and maybe more nights out socialising where alcohol is involved. I think that can certainly create challenges for people who are struggling with problematic alcohol, or perhaps, I suppose it kind of highlights maybe when things get a little bit out of control. I think we definitely see an increase in people accessing our services post-Christmas. That's a positive thing. I think when people reach out for help, when perhaps Christmas hasn't, it's been challenging for them. They've struggled with, managing their drinking over Christmas, and perhaps there has been, instance within families where family members are highlighting, gosh, I'm really concerned about how much alcohol you've been consuming over this period. Things tend to come to a head. But accessing services is always a positive in my opinion, and reaching out and looking for support, because we are very well served here in Clare and in the Midwest with services, ourselves among a good suite of services for people who are struggling with their alcohol or their substance use.
And that's as good a way to finish as any, Maedhbh. Should anyone need to reach out to Bushypark, what's the best way to get in touch?
We welcome any calls from either person who is maybe concerned about their own alcohol use or their substance use, or perhaps problem gambling. We ask people to reach out by phone. Our phone number is 065 68 40944. And also, if you're a concerned family member, I think it's important to say that we welcome all calls. We do offer quite a wide range of supports for family members, and that can be difficult, particularly if maybe their loved one that they are concerned about perhaps isn't quite ready yet to access support. We certainly do offer support for family members on their own journey.
Okay, we do have to leave it there, but Maedhbh, always appreciate your input on these matters. Thank you as ever for joining us, and a happy Christmas to you and everyone else at Bushypark. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Much appreciated.
Take care.